what what are the integral values of x which satisfy the inequality -1 less than 3 -2x less than or equal to 5? So this is an example of a simultaneous inequality. Now, why is it called a simultaneous inequality? It's called that because in this inequality you have here, you have two inequality signs. You have this and then you have this. So it's a simultaneous inequality. Anyway, before we go ahead and find the solution to this, I'm very sure some might not be familiar with the term integral. So when it says what are the integral values, so integral in the layman's language is just whole. So it says whole numbers. So what are the whole number values of x which satisfy the inequality -1 less than 3 -2x less than or equal to 5? Now, to carry out this, since we know this is a simultaneous inequality, the first thing you need to do is you need to split this inequality. Now, how do I mean? Now, for the first side, you have -1 less than 3 -2x. So that's for the first part, you have -1 less than 3 -2x. Then to solve the next part, so the next part is, or the next part of the simultaneous inequality is 3 -2x less than or equal to 5. So this is the first step you carry out whenever you want to solve a simultaneous inequality. Then the next thing is you begin to solve each of the inequalities separately. Now, since our aim is to solve for x, so I need to subtract 3 from both sides. So you have -1, then subtract 3 from both sides, so it's going to be -3 less than, so it has here, you have -2x. So -1 -3, that is going to give you -4. So this is less than -2x. Now, but then, since we want to find x, so we divide both sides by -2. So we divide by -2 and we divide by -2. Now, anytime you divide an inequality by a negative sign, or you multiply the two sides of an inequality by a negative sign, the sign changes. So in other words, this goes off, then -2 in -4 is 2, but we're going to have, you have 2. So instead of less than this time around, because we have divided by a negative sign, the sign changes to greater than, and then you have x. So this is the solution of this inequality here. So this is 2 less than x. Now, if 2 is less than x, so that implies that x is x is less than 2. 2 is greater than x, then x is less than 2. I just changed them the way they are. It means the same thing anyway. Anyway, that's the solution for the first inequality here. So let's go ahead and find the solution for the second inequality. So we have 3 -2x less than or equal to 5. So to solve for x, so I need to bring 3 to the other side. So we subtract 3 from both sides. So you have -2x less than or equal to 5 -3. So this becomes -2x less than or equal to, now 5 minus 3 is going to give you 2. So to solve for x, we divide both sides by -2. So divide by -2, divide by -2. So this goes off, and then you have x. So like I told you, since we've divided by a negative sign, the inequality you have here changes to the opposite, and then you have 2 divided by -2, which is -1. So now we have two solutions. So the first one is x less than 2, and the next one is x greater than or equal to -1. So the solution set is just going to be, so the two solutions we have is x less than 2, and we also have x greater than or equal to -1. In other words, x satisfies these two inequality. Now, how can we decide the solution of this problem based on these two conditions? Well, let's draw our real number line. So let's say you have something like this. So this is going to be 0. Let's say this is 0. So we have 0 here, and let's say this is 1. Let's call this 2. Let's call this 3. This is -1. This is -2, just like you have in your graph sheet. So this is what you have. Now my aim is I want to find the integral values of x that satisfies this 2 inequality here. Now to do that, I want to draw the graph of this inequality here. So what it says here, it says x greater than or equal to -1. So I go to -1 here. So it says x is equal to -1. So I'm going to shade this. And it says x is also greater than -1. So it says greater than. So it goes in this direction. Now the next inequality says x is less than 2, but not equal to 2, because there is no inequality sign here. So this time around, I'm not going to shade this because I've been told that x is not equal to 2, but less than 2. So it goes in this direction here. So definitely they are going to meet. So in other words, the values of x that satisfies this 2 inequality lies between here and here. But what the question demands is, it says find the integral values of x, that is, find the whole numbers that satisfies this condition here. Now when we look at this problem here, what are the whole numbers that satisfy here? Now starting from here, is -1 in this region? So this is the region we are talking about here. So -1 is a whole number. Is it included? Yes, it's included because this side is included. So -1 is there. So the other whole number we have is 0. Is 0 included? Yes, 0 falls in the region. So you have 0. Is 1 included? Yes, 1 falls in the region. So we have 1. What of 2? Is 2 included? No. 2 is not included because 2 has been excluded from the domain of solution of these 2 inequalities. So in other words, the solution of the inequality is -1, 0, and 1. So note, it says the whole numbers. So it has to be just the whole numbers, that is between -1 and 2, including -1. So -1, 0, 1, which is what you have here. -1, 0, 1. That completes the problem. If you have questions on this, you can just drop them in the comment box below.